Hello, welcome to Math 112 IN1 for the summer 2023 semester at SWIC. My name is Jennifer Simonton and I will be your instructor for this course. I just wanted to take a few minutes to introduce myself and walk you through our syllabus and just some highlights of our new learning management system that we've just adopted this summer to help you get started off on the right foot. I've been teaching math at SWIC for now 21 years and I've pretty much been teaching college algebra for that entire time, and it is one of my favorite classes to teach. So let's get started here. All right, so the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to log into your Brightspace. This is the new learning management system that we're using at SWIC now. We have transitioned just from Blackboard this past spring over to Brightspace starting this summer. All right, so when you log into Brightspace, you should be able to see a list of all the courses that you are signed up for somewhere on your home screen. All right, so you are going to, these are just the two courses I'm teaching this summer, so one of your courses should say College Algebra or Math 112 IN1. All right, so the first thing you're going to do here is you're going to click on that. And then that should bring you to a screen that looks like this. All right, so over here on the left, we're going to walk through today the syllabus. So you can find that right here. You'll be using a software system through our textbook called My Math Lab to do all of your assignments. So we'll run through how to get registered in that. You do not need to purchase anything. All the instructions you need are right here. The access code link and the My Math Lab link are part of those instructions, so we'll get to that in a minute. I do have a discussion board up here just to do some introductions here at the beginning, but we won't be using that a ton. All the course content for the course, meaning all of the lecture notes and the lecture videos that you'll need to watch before you do your assignments, can be found in here. And then here's some information about our testing center and our success center. Please be aware, and we'll see this in the syllabus here in a minute, but this course is online. However, for our math department, you are required to come to campus to take your tests. Okay, so you can do everything at home on your own time by the specified due date for each assignment except for testing. All right, so you'll have to make time to come to campus for that, for a proctored testing situation. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here is I'm going to click on the syllabus and open that up, and we'll kind of walk through that. So when you click on that tab, you'll get to a screen that looks like this. Then you'll have to click over here on the document itself, and this is what you will find. Okay, this is our new syllabus template, so all of your classes, they should look pretty much the same. All right, at the top here is just some general information about the course that you're in. College Algebra, what section, what semester. These links right here are important for you to find just basic college policies and additional student information. So like if you have disability access needs, that information is in there. It's our policy on like if we're closed due to weather, just kind of stuff like that that's general to the college. I'm not going to go through all of those, but you can click on these links to read through them. For the summer semester, we are in an 8-week semester, so the drop date or the deadline to withdraw from the course and not receive a letter grade is July 9th. So just keep that in mind. This is asynchronous, meaning there's not a specified time that you have to meet each day. It is 4 credit hours. It is online. We start on Saturday, June the 3rd, and then our last day when the final exam has to be done and the course ends is the 27th of July. All right, my office hours this semester are Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon. I will be in my office on campus on those days. However, if you would prefer to meet at that time via Teams rather than coming in person, just send me an email and I can send you a link so we can do that. Also, I'm free a lot of other times during the week besides those hours. Those are just the hours that I will be in my office where you do not have to make an appointment to come and see me. But anytime you have a question about anything, you can send me an email at this address right here, jennifer.simonton@swic.edu, and I usually try to respond definitely within 24 hours, but it's usually much, much faster than that. All right. All right, so let's scroll down here. These are just kind of the course description, prereqs, all that stuff, and then these are a list of all the objectives. I'm not going to read those to you, but those are all the different topics that this course will cover. And then our core competencies, just things that should be included in this course. Most of that stuff is stuff you can read on your own. All right, here at the textbook and course materials, okay, you'll be required to sign up for my math lab that I mentioned earlier. We'll walk through how to do that in just a second. That will include all of your course materials, okay? You do not need to buy anything, okay? If you would like to have a physical hard copy of the book, this is what it's called, College Algebra, 8th edition, Blitzer's the author, Pearson 2023. That is not a requirement. Like I said, all of your assignments, homework, everything is included in the My Math Lab that is provided, okay? You should have a graphing calculator. That's a recommendation for this course. You can get by with a scientific if that's what you have, but there are a couple things that we'll talk about in a few different sections, not right off the bat, not like the first week or anything, but there are a few things where having a graphing calculator is going to be extremely helpful. I would recommend purchasing the TI-84 if you don't already have one. And there are some things that I will, in my lecture notes and in the videos, reference that calculator and how to use it for certain things. Okay, I'm going to scroll down here to the information about grading and assignments. All right, up here, communication, email, because we're online, we're not meeting face-to-face, email is the best way to reach me quickly. Okay, I'm usually pretty quick about responding to that. You can send me emails just with general questions, questions about specific topics, specific homework assignments, anything. All right, you should also make a habit of checking your SWIC email several times a week. I will be sending out weekly reminders the beginning of every week to remind you of what assignments you should be working on, when tests are coming up, when you need to be making your testing center appointments and things like that. So make a habit of checking your email frequently. Those things will also be posted in Brightspace as announcements. All right, like I mentioned earlier, proctor testing is a requirement of this course. So you will have to make arrangements to come to campus to take the test and the final. Okay, that is non-negotiable. That is a math department SWIC policy. Okay, so grading procedure. Every assignment you do is done in my math lab. All right. And we'll get to that part in a second. But once you are in my math lab and signed up for that, all of your assignments can be found there. All right, tests including the final exam are given at a testing center of your choice. We have two options, either Belleville campus or Granite City campus. All other assignments, including homework and the test reviews, you can complete on your own time anywhere you'd like, at home, or whatever, and any time of the day. Now there are due dates, okay? It is an online course, but you can't just do things whenever you want. Each week there's things have to get done to keep on track, and we'll look at that calendar here in just a second. If you miss a deadline for homework assignments, you may complete them late. However, there is a penalty for not completing them by their due date. However, tests must be completed by the due date. Okay, you can take them early if you're not available on the day that it's due, but you cannot take them late. All right, we'll get to that assignment calendar here in just a minute. The breakdown of your grade is calculated based on homework. It represents 10% of your grade, or 50 total points for the whole semester. There are test reviews before each test that are each worth, for a regular test, they're worth 5 points apiece, and for the final, it's worth 10. Then that constitutes 5% of your overall grade. Tests, the just 3 regular tests we'll have throughout the semester, that's 60% of your grade, and then the final exam is worth 25% of your grade. So I broke it down by percentages and points for you there, just to kind of show you how that correlates. And then I grade on the standard 10-point grading scale, 90 to 100 is an A, 80s is a B, 70s is a C, etc. All right. So the way I would recommend that you navigate this course, right? You'll have to be able to get into Brightspace. That's how you're going to access the lecture videos and lecture notes. And then from there, you'll be able to access my math lab to complete your assignments that are graded. All right, so before you begin homework, it's strongly suggested that you open, view, and take notes on the lecture videos that are posted under the course content tab. in the lecture videos folder. Okay, please do not skip that step. That's the equivalent of going to class. Okay, when you're in an online course, you have to somehow receive the information and learn the material. Okay, watching those videos is that part of the course. Okay, you'll have to find time to do that. I try to keep them fairly short. The first few sections are broken up into multiple videos because when I first started to make these videos, my screencasting software only allowed 15 minutes at a time, so you might see a part 1 and a part 2 that go with the same section at the beginning. But then after that, we upgraded to a version that would allow me to record longer, so most videos are roughly 30 minutes, maybe give or take. Okay, so they're not crazy long, but enough to where I can walk you through some basic examples and show you how things work. All right, also the written out lecture notes that you will see in the videos on the screen, those are scanned in as PDFs and they are posted in the lecture notes folder under that, again, that course content tab. So if you don't want to take your own lecture notes, however, I do feel like that is valuable. If you can, write things down yourself. I do have a hard copy of those notes posted in Brightspace as well. All right, so once you've watched your video, taken your notes, feel like you understand what's going on within a section, then you're going to navigate to your homework, which is in My Math Lab. All right, once you get to those assignments, there'll be some problems for you to complete. Okay, it's set up as a learning tool. Okay, within My Math Lab, you will have unlimited attempts to get a problem correct, meaning you can try it. I think it gives you, usually, depending on the type of question, if it's like a type in the answer type question, you'll get 3 tries before it'll finally tell you that the answer is wrong. But then you can always click similar exercise or similar problem and get a new problem with different numbers and try it again. All I see at the end is whether you got it right or wrong. Okay, even if you got it right on the first try or if you got it right on the 12th try, it doesn't matter to me. You get 100% credit for that if you get it right eventually. All right, there are also tools within My Math Lab that will allow you to view examples or to help you with a problem or to watch a textbook video, not my video, but somebody else explaining it, to read the textbook. There's all kinds of help features in there that you can utilize if you need extra help or get stuck on something. Please pay attention to due dates, okay? All homework for the whole semester is worth, like I said earlier, 10% of your grade or 50 points, okay? But if you do them late, you're penalized. All right, before each test, you'll have a review. So there are 3 test reviews assigned in My Math Lab. 1 goes with each of the regular chapter tests. They're also set up as a homework assignment. Okay, they're worth 5 points apiece. And again, they have due dates. All right, these you cannot do late. They are due the same day that your test is due. So if you don't get them done by the time the due date is and you've taken your test, then you can't go back to those and earn points. Okay. All right, tests. There are 3. Each of those covers 2 to 3 chapters of material, and each test is worth 100 points. Okay, for a test, you have to take that in the testing center, still through My Math Lab, but you have to come to the testing center at SWIC and be proctored. All right, to do that, you'll have to make an appointment, and once you have your appointment set up and you show up, you'll have to have a photo ID. They'll get you set up on a computer, and then you can take your test. Okay, and this just explains what you'll have to do when you get there. When you arrive, you'll log into My Math Lab, go to that assignment, whatever test you want to take. Then the proctor will have to put in the password for you, and then make sure you tell them if it's test 1, 2, or 3. And then once you click start, you'll have 75 minutes to complete the test. Okay, you'll click submit. You are allowed to use a calculator. Your either scientific or graphing, as long as your graphing calculator does not have a CAS, which means a computer algebra system. So it cannot be a TI-89. It cannot be an Inspire with CAS. It can be a regular Inspire, but not the one that says CAS on it. All right, you are also not allowed to use your cell phone or any app on your cell phone as your calculator. Okay? All right, final exam review. Again, just like the other test reviews, only it's longer. Okay, since your final is a comprehensive exam, so that's worth a little bit more. It's worth 10 points instead of 5. And then the final exam itself, again, it's comprehensive, so it'll cover everything for the whole semester. You'll have a little longer there, 2 hours to complete it in my math lab, and it's worth a total of 125 points. The last day to take that is July 27th. That is a Thursday. Most due dates are on Friday, as you'll see here within our calendar in a minute, but this one is due on Thursday because that's when the semester ends. All right, when you submit so I don't do partial credit for homework because you can try as many times as you want before you get the problem correct. All right, however, on a test, right, you're not going to, first of all, you're not going to know as you do each question if it's right or wrong till the end, right? So you'll submit your test, it'll give you a score. Do not freak out if that score is lower than you thought, okay? I do get partial, I go back and review every question on every single test after it's submitted, and I assign partial credit based on your, what kind of an answer you gave. Sometimes I can tell without looking at work, or if you provide scratch paper. Right, so if you want to receive partial credit for wrong answers on a test and your final, if you're writing things down as you're working on your test, just make sure things are labeled and numbered. You don't have to do them in the order that they show up on the test, but it can't just be random scribbles of things where I can't find it. Okay, but you need to say this is problem number 8 and write out what you did, and you can go back then to problem 2, write out what you did or whatever. But if you turn that into the testing center, they will send that to me, and as I grade your test, okay, if you got, I'm not going to look at any right answers. If they're right, they're right. But if they're marked wrong by my math lab, then I will look at your scratch paper and I will assign partial credit. So that is a huge benefit to people in terms of what they end up with as their final result on a test. Okay, it is hardly ever the case that you actually end up getting the grade that it says you got initially when you click submit. Okay, almost always does that grade go up higher based on partial credit. All right, late and makeup work. Okay, assignments have due dates. They're expected to be completed by their due dates. For homework, this does not include test reviews. You will be allowed to complete the assignment after the due date, but there is a 15% grade deduction. All right, so if the homework assignment was due on Friday, June 9th, but you didn't start it at all, but you got to it, say, the next week sometime and did all of it, got 100, you actually get 85% instead of 100. The penalty only applies to problems that you've done late. So maybe you did half of it on time, but you didn't get to the other half of it. When you go back and finish the other half, if it was past due when you do that, your penalty only applies to the half that were done late. All right? The point of homework is to help you learn. Okay, the points you're earning for homework doesn't constitute a lot. It's not going to help you really, boost your grade a ton. The whole semester is only worth 10%. Okay, but the whole point of it is to learn it. So if you didn't get it done on time, it's still a lot of times worthwhile to go back and finish it just so you understand how to do those problems. All right. This is just a policy. If you have to miss a test for an extenuating circumstance or, something comes up last minute, right, you have to contact me and we'll have to talk about that, okay? Vacation or being out of town is not considered an excused absence, all right? If you know you're ahead of time you're going to be out of town on the day a test is due, you need to make arrangements and work ahead and get it done early, all right? I do replace, if you happen to miss a test and can't get it done early and you got a 0, I will replace that missed test score with the grade you get on the final exam. All right, that also applies to if you take all of the tests. It doesn't say this in here, but I must have left that out. But if you take all 3 tests, but again, your final exam is higher than your lowest test grade, I will replace your lowest test grade with your final to boost your grade up a little bit. Okay, so that will apply whether you just have one really low test or if you just happen to have missed a test. Okay, but your final exam, if it's better than the lowest, can replace 1. Okay, this is the calendar of kind of an outline of when things are due. Please pay attention to this note up here. Good time management is key to being successful in an online course. You are encouraged to work ahead, okay? I'm not assuming that you're going to wait until Friday, June 9th and do 4 assignments and then wait till Friday, June 16th and do 5 assignments. Okay, that's not what this means. Okay, this complete no later than. That is the final day to get all of these things done. All right, but you should be working throughout the week, okay? Just like if you were attending a face-to-face class. Okay, this summer will move very quickly. Okay, we do what we normally would cover in 16 weeks. We do the same amount of material in 8 weeks. Okay, you will have to make time to work on it throughout the week. If you're waiting till Friday, June 9th at 10 p.m. to do, a whole week of homework in 2 hours, it's going to be really, really hard. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, you can always work ahead. Okay, if you start off and you think, okay, this is stuff that I kind of already know and it's not that hard, and if you want to do all the first 2 weeks of class in 3 days, fine. That's fine. You can complete it early. No issues with doing things ahead of time. But this is just the no later than date means after this date, if you go back to homework assignments, you're penalized. Okay? And these dates mean midnight. So Friday, June 9th, that first week ends. All those things have to be done by midnight or they're considered late or past due. All right, notice our tests are about every other week here. Okay, so second week, first test already. Right? Fourth week, second test. Sixth week, third test. Last week, final exam. Okay, every other week we take a test. That's just how it has to be, or else we can't fit it in. Okay. All right. These things here at the end are just reminding you that you need to invest time outside of just doing homework, and we need to do other things to be successful. And then the attendance policy, again, for online class, this doesn't really mean attendance. It just means that you need to be logging into Brightspace, and MyMathLab on a regular basis and completing assignments. If you are not active in the course prior to the 10th day roster, or you don't communicate with me at all over a period of an entire week and haven't logged in and done any work, then you could get withdrawn for lack of participation. Okay? And that would that whole dropping people for lack of participation only applies up until the drop deadline, which was July the 9th. After that, I do not have the ability to give you a W. So if you're still in the course after July 9th, you haven't withdrawn yourself, and I haven't withdrawn you, I have to give you a letter grade. Okay? Okay, so that is a syllabus. I know I went through that pretty quickly, but you're encouraged to go back to that and read through that, maybe even print it out for your own reference. All right, so let's go back here to our course and look at the next thing. All right, so these are this link right here are the instructions on how to get signed up in MyMathLab. Okay, I'm going to click on that. Once you click on that again, you're going to click on the link to open the PDF. All right, and this is going to walk you through how to do that. This is a one-time thing. Once you follow these 9 steps, I think, one time you're in and you won't ever have to go back to here again. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is click on that other tab there that said access code. Okay, when you click on that, this screen should pop up and you will click on this BNC course materials. Okay. Once you click on that, you're going to find the materials for your math course. You may have other courses if you're taking more than one course this summer, and other courses use Pearson. You may have more than one thing listed, but this is ours. It looks like this. College Algebra, that's what should pop up. All right, once you're there, you're going to click Reveal Access Code, this green button. You're going to click on that. It's going to give you a string of letters and numbers that look like they make no sense. All right, you're going to copy that course. You can copy with your mouse or you can write it down on a piece of paper. Okay, you'll have to paste it in later on. All right, then you're going to go back to your course and click on the content at the top. This up here. Once you click on content, you're going to come down here and click on MyMathLab. All right, the first time you do that, or anytime you do that, this screen will pop up. Okay, from here, you're going to then click on the blue Pearson LTI 1.3. Right here, this will be a link. Okay. The first time you do that, this will then start your process. Okay. If you have never used Pearson with Brightspace before, okay, so if you were here last spring, you used Pearson with Blackboard. That's not the same thing. Okay. But if you've been at a different school and you've used a Pearson product with the Brightspace learning management system, okay, if you have, you'll go straight to the next step. If you have not, which I'm assuming most people will be, they have not, right, you may be prompted to accept the license agreement, so you're just going to click accept at the bottom, and then either create a Pearson account or log in. So if you have a Pearson account through somewhere else, like if you've used it with Blackboard or another course at SWIC or any other course at all, you've used Pearson before, you should be able to log in. Okay, otherwise you have to create an account. All right. Once you get to the page, you follow all of those instructions, and they ask for payment. There should be no payment. Okay. Once you get to this screen that looks like this, you're going to click this blue access code button, one on the left side, and then you'll either paste in the access code if you copied it with your mouse earlier, or you'll type it in if you wrote it down on a piece of paper. Okay, so right here you'll click there, and then you'll be able to put in that code. Then you should have access to your course materials. Okay, so once you've done all of that, okay, back on that screen where you clicked My Math Lab before, that's when you need to find an assignment, you can go there and find it. Okay, but you have to go through all of this first. Okay. Okay, so let's go back here to content. All right, so that was this. All right. So part of that was to click access code right here, right, and walk through that process. All right, and then once you've done that, you're going to get to My Math Lab. Okay, so once you follow those instructions, which will require both of these links, all right, let's go and click My Math Lab. All right, so the first time, before you get logged in there, you may not see these other things. You would have just seen this one. But notice here, you can either go to here. So if I click on this thing again, I'm in here as a learner. Yeah, so it's not going to let me because I'm viewing as a student, and since I'm not a student, that's why it won't let me do that. Let me go back here to not view as learner, so it'll let me in there. All right, so here, My Math Lab. All right, and then I can either, if I just know I want to go into 1.5, I can click that. It'll take me right there. All right, or I can click here if I want to get into the My Math Lab system. All right, and then I can go open my lab and mastering. And then I can come over here, and I'm going to click on Assignments. And there they are. Okay. So up through 2.6. Sorry about that. All right, and then here's the test, and then 2.7, right? Then you have a review, then a test, etc. Okay, so all the assignments are there, or they were listed in Brightspace as well if you wanted to look at those one at a time. All right, so and then you can just click on each one. So if I click here, then I'll see what questions there are. So then I can click on question 1. All right, and then it'll give me the problems I have to do. Okay, and hopefully before you do this, you've watched the video, seen the lecture notes, right? I'll show you where those are in just a second, right? But then you can scroll through here. So if you're doing this problem, it asks you to solve by factoring. You can view, if you view Help Me Solve This, it'll walk you through this exact problem, but then it won't give you credit for it because you asked for help. You'll have to do another one similar. Most people like this feature the best, View an Example. So if I click View an Example, if I'm stuck, okay, you can just click Continue. Notice it gives you a different problem that looks kind of the same. It walks you through step by step how to do that problem, right? And then it brings you back to here, all right? And then you can try your problem. Here, a video. This is not my video. This is the publisher's video, so somebody else explaining a way to do this problem. You can view the textbook if you want to read the problems in the actual textbook and see their examples. Or if none of that other stuff helps, you can click Ask My Instructor. This will send me an email with a link to this exact problem. And then when you click that and you're getting ready to send it, I would just, tell me what you're stuck on. Okay, and then once I see it, I can reply. Okay, All right, you don't have to do all these at once, so I can hit save here, and it will show me that I haven't tried anything, or if I had put in an answer and it was wrong, I can always go back, and if the due date is still open, go back and fix things. Okay, so you can come back and forth, you know, as many times as you need to before the due date. All right, so that is how you get to those. All right, if you had gotten to, whoops, not that one. If you had gotten to this screen right here, if you just click this, it'll take you just straight to the 1-5 homework. Okay, if you click this, it'll take you straight to the 2-1 homework. Okay, so that's another way. These are just in here so you can see on your calendar in Brightspace when things are due. Okay, so that's how that works. Discussions, I said in the initial announcement that if you come into the discussion board and give me an introduction before next Wednesday, you'll get 5 points extra credit added to your final exam. So that you do that, you're going to click on discussions. This is mine. All right, you will go to, if you want to add one in here, you can just go to add a sub or upload and create within that thread here, and just introduce yourself. Okay, and that way everybody can kind of you know, read everybody else's introduction just to kind of get an idea of who they're in class with. But that's what that is. We probably won't use the discussion board otherwise, but that's how you can get extra credit for your final. All right, course content. All right, so this course content tab is where you're going to find your lecture videos and your lecture notes. Okay, so lecture videos, right? They're organized by folder. So this is all the videos for test number 1. Okay, these will link, when you click on it, it'll link you out to YouTube to watch the video, right, of me explaining how to do that. So this is a part 1 and a part 2 for these 2 sections. Then there's another couple here, and then another part 1 and 2. I think after that group, I don't think there's any more part 1 and part 2s. Okay, but those are where you get to your videos, right? And then here they are for test 2, all those sections for test 3, and then the stuff after test 3 is in its own category. Okay, so those are your lecture videos. All right, and then lecture notes right here. If you click on lecture notes, these are just PDFs of the notes that you see in the video, okay, with all the examples written out already. Okay, if you want to take your own notes, which is I think is a good idea as you're watching the video, great. If you'd rather, you know, just look at my notes and make your own, you know, add things, highlight things, whatever, you can use these PDFs. Okay. All right, the other thing down here, a testing center information. Okay, these are, you can click here, this is just the SWIC website of their hours and locations when they're open, their guidelines, in other words, of the rules that are required. This is the appointment request form, so you'll have to make an appointment ahead of time. You cannot just walk in on the day you want to take a test. You cannot make an appointment the morning of. They require 24-hour notice, at least. All right, so I'll be sending out a reminder ahead of time, but you would click on that link. All right, and then you're going to scroll down here, and there we are not, the Redwood campus is not open. I don't know why they even have a link there, but Belleville or Granite City. So and we're not doing remote unless there's just an emergency situation. All right, so Belleville campus, say, if you click on that, and then you just pick a day and time and follow the instructions there. Okay. So your name, your email, phone number, the class. When it says test type or test number, it's just if you're taking test 1, 2, 3, 4, final. Okay, and then you'll click book. Okay, but it's a pretty easy form to fill out. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Back to content. We also do have a Success Center on campus. So again, this tab just has their links. This is free tutoring. Okay, you can do in-person tutoring, you can do remote tutoring through this Success Center, but these are links to the website where you can get information about that. Okay. All right, so I know there's a lot of stuff in here. Just going to have to get in here and kind of play around with it. Really, once you're past, what we've gone over today and you followed these My Math Lab instructions and got in there, most of the time you're just going to be coming in here and using the My Math Lab or the course content tabs. And then that testing center tab for testing appointments. All right, course schedule is kind of a nice overview. If you go over here and click on full schedule, you can kind of see, each week, right, what's due. Notice they're on following that thing that we talked about that was in your syllabus, but I went ahead and linked them all into Brightspace so you can kind of find them all in one place. Okay. If you ever have any questions about anything, please do not hesitate to send me an email or to come by and see me during office hours. Okay, I'm here to help, and don't hesitate to ask questions if you have questions. All right, so that is all I have for today. Like I said, I'm looking forward to a great semester, and please feel free to reach out when needed. All right, bye-bye.